Welcome to episode 38 of our series on the origin and meanings of Appalachian and Southern family names. For our cousins in Great Britain and Ireland, please note that there are ethnicities from the Isles in America that you will not find today in the Isles or Europe. Last week, one viewer wrote a rambling 500-word essay on why he doesn't like the label Scotch-Irish. And he even told me to stop using it. Well, that label's been used in America since Francis McCamey introduced it back in 1680s. He was the founder of American Presbyterianism. It's also used by the U.S. Census Bureau, so I'll keep on using it. If that offends you, you can watch Buffy the Dancing Chihuahua. As we've mentioned nearly every week during the series, there are thousands of surnames in these regions. To make our task more manageable, we're focusing on pre-Civil War surnames. That's because the Industrial Revolution of the late 1800s scattered thousands more names across the fruited plains, and some of them no doubt made their way into major cities in the South like Birmingham and New Orleans and Atlanta, and certain coal mining areas in central Appalachia. Each of the family names that we'll examine today was requested by members of our YouTube community. You might note that I discuss surnames in the order that I received them, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve as a resource for you. I also appreciate your patience as I make my way through the names still on our list. And I think there are probably about 300 or 400 right now. By request, I'm posting an email address to the Vantage Point in the description so you can request a surname catalog. It contains all the families that we've covered up through this week. So, today on the Vantage Point, we'll be talking about 11 Appalachian and Southern surnames. They'll take us from America to Ireland, Scotland, England, France, Wales, and Scandinavia during the medieval time. I hope you'll join me. Let's get this surname party started. Number 1, Barker. Okay, when I first saw the request for Barker, images of the old TV show Truth or Consequences popped into my head. That's because of the show's host, Bob Barker. You know he's 98 years old now? And did you know that he was part Lakota and graduated from Drury University in Springfield, Missouri? What a fascinating man. His surname was introduced into the Isles by another strong group, the Vikings. Barker was an occupational name for one who stripped or tanned tree bark. Linguistically, Barker is an Anglo-Scandinavian name that has had a presence in Scotland since at least the 1200s and Ireland since the days of Oliver Cromwell in the mid-17th century. MacIsaac says it appears in the records for Dublin a century before Cromwell. That would place it somewhere around the mid-1500s. Here's where a Y chromosome test would be a big help to anyone searching for the origin of their specific line of Barker. If the test result shows Y chromosome in the I haplogroup, your line goes back to the Vikings. R1b1 is more likely to be classified as Atlantic Celtic. Now, I'm sure that someone is about to type that R1b1 could come from Scandinavia, and that's true. But their ancestors got there by being captured by Vikings. Vikings also settled in the Isles, so a person acculturated as a Scot or an Englishman could carry an I haplogroup. According to the great English philosopher and lyricist Robert Plant, their deeper ancestors came from the land of ice and snow, from the midnight sun where the hot springs flow. Yep, that's right. A paper trail would be also useful in this situation. Number 2, Petri. We had just had a visitation from Bob Barker, so why not Dick Van Dyke as Rob Petri? I prefer recollections of Laura Petri myself. She was played by the lovely Mary Tyler Moore, if you remember her. This Norman French surname was used as an alternate way of spelling Peter. As you know, Normans moved around the island of Great Britain, and in Scotland, Petri is also used as an alternate form of Patrick. It doesn't appear in the surname books penned by MacIsaac, Black, or Morgan and Morgan, the Welsh names. So this Norman name could be an acculturated Scottish or English surname. I think you need a paper trail to determine the origin of your line of Petri. Number 3, Polly. Hey, yo, Polly. You might remember Polly as Adrian's brother in the Rocky movie franchise. Some of you might be conjuring up images of the morning show host, Jane Polly. Just as Petri was introduced by the French-speaking Normans, so was Polly. It was derived from the Latin personal name Paulus. In searching my surname books, I only found Polly in one with an English bias, so I think we can call it an Anglo name or English name. A form of Polly is Paulin, and it's found in Scotland. At the end of the day, Polly is not a typical Norman-introduced surname because it's not found throughout Great Britain, let alone the Isles. Number 4, Brumfield. This Old English surname was given to someone who lived in or near a broom field. It doesn't appear among the common surnames outside of England, so I think we're safe in calling Broomfield an English surname. Number 5, Henry or Henry. This old French Teutonic surname was found throughout much of northwestern Europe, where it appeared in various forms like Henri in France or Heinrich in Germany. It originally meant home ruler. This surname is found throughout the Isles. In Ireland, MacHenry and O'Henry are different or have different origins and are sometimes used for more traditional Irish sounding names like Anne. In Scotland, Henry is most common in Ayr and Fife. So while Henry has deep Teutonic roots, it could belong to Americans whose ancestors came to Appalachia and the South as an acculturated Scottish or Irish family. Number 6, Shannon or Shanahan. This old Irish surname means Old River. 224 miles long, it's Ireland's longest and Great Britain's longest river. Shannon Airport is the 3rd busiest airport in Ireland, so Shannon is a common and well-respected name on the Emerald Isle. While there are pockets of Shannon folk living throughout the Isles, I think we in Appalachia and the South should consider Shannon a quintessential Irish surname. Number 7, Templeton. This Old English surname could well be from Templeton in Devonshire, a hamlet that used to belong to the Knights of Templar. Otherwise, it was given to someone from a town with a temple, but most medieval towns had temples or abbeys, so that doesn't tell us much. While it doesn't appear among the common surnames of Ireland and Wales, it could well be of Scottish origin in America. It's been found in Ayrshire and Lanarkshire since the late 1200s. Nonetheless, I think a paper trail would be helpful in locating the origin of your specific line of Templeton. Number 8, Oney or Onley. There's a great deal of confusion surrounding this surname, and it's not just me. The Dictionary of American Family Names and some online sources would have us believe that Oney is an anglicized Irish name for, it's a byname meaning champion. Interestingly, MacLeisic, my go-to source for Irish surnames, doesn't even mention it. There's a Onley in England. It's a toponymic from Onley, Buckinghamshire. This is a case where one will need a paper trail to be sure. Still, the evidence suggests that it's either English or Irish. Number 9, Sledge or Sledger. John Sledger was a merchant in Glasgow in 1580, but this linguistically English surname is older than 1580. It was given to a person who made or sold sledgehammers. It's not found among the common surnames in Ireland or Wales. I think that we're safe in calling Sledge or Sledger an English or Scottish surname. A paper trail will be most helpful in locating the origin of your line of Sledge or Sledger. Number 10, McKee. This Scottish surname is also found in Ireland, but in Ireland, MacLeisic claims that it's not an alternate form of Mackay, but Black says that in Scotland it is another form of Mackay. I think a paper trail would be most helpful to locate the origin in your line of Mackay. And number 11, MacIan. This Scottish Highlander name means the son of John, not the son of Donald. It's one of the most common surnames in the Highlands. You might note that this surname was often anglicized to Johnson, especially in Ulster and Greater Ireland. Many Americans named Johnson have this lineage. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of our discussion, and if you did, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to check out all the videos on the Vantage Point. In addition to the Surnames of Appalachia and the South series, they cover a wide range of topics, including a popular series on natural disasters and climate change, including climate change in the Bible. If demand warrants it, I'll be back soon with another episode on the Surnames of Appalachia and the American South. I hope to see you then. God bless you and yours. Bye-bye.